For those of you who don't know me, my name's Mike Wieder and I own Ultimate Sounds Entertainment in New Jersey. I've been a mobile entertainer for over 38 years. I've performed at thousands of events and entertained thousands and thousands of people. Like all of us, that all changed earlier this year when our industry was hit hard by COVID-19. Without getting into all the details related to cancellations, shutdowns, rescheduling, micro events, etc., I had to do something. I looked for something creative to do to keep me busy and help bring money into the household. And to be perfectly honest with you, keep my wife from killing me. So let me back up a little bit, give you a little backstory about how I got involved with Bubbles. About 3 years ago, while promoting my book, Be the Difference Maker, a blueprint for transforming DJs into entertainers, my friend, the late Ray Martinez, suggested I attend a seminar by Rob Peters that was about bubble parties. I thought, what? Bubble, what? What about bubbles? You go to the dollar store, Walmart, even Amazon, and you buy the little containers of bubbles with the little plastic bubble wands, and then you go outside and blow bubbles, right? Nope. Nothing could be further from the truth. There's so much more to it than that. It's not your grandfather's bubble wands anymore. Well, to be perfectly honest with you, and I'm sure there are many in agreement with me, that two of the most challenging to entertain, and because of that, in my opinion, are the most neglected demographics that we deal with, are the pre-communion age, 1 to 7 year olds, and the really old 75 plus, even though I'm getting close to it, and honestly would rather not deal with. I sat through the seminar and thought there was the potential to do something special with the program. It was from that seminar that NJ Bubble Parties was conceived. I started researching bubble machines and seeing that there were different types of wands. So I went out to the local stores, Five Below, Target, Walmart, Dollar Tree, the Christmas Tree Shop, and started buying gallons of bubble solution and every different type of bubble wand I could find. I then ordered 2 bubble machines for my DJ now, and I was equipped. But I'll get back to the bubbles and wands shortly. So the idea behind Rob Peters' program was to market to local preschools and provide them with a 1 hour dance party that involved audience participation and lots of bubbles. And it was great. It was a way to keep busy and earn income during a time when many events for DJs don't happen, weekday mornings and afternoons. NJ Bubble Parties immediately took off, and between word of mouth and a lot of hustle, the phone started ringing and the emails poured in. Bubbling to preschools and daycare centers, business was great and growing each of the past 2 years. That is until 2020. What looked like it would be an amazing year, and with over 90 scheduled bubble parties already on the calendar, the pandemic put a halt to. Between cancellations and closures of many of the preschools and daycare facilities, all but a handful of bubble dance parties remained. It was then that I thought, how can I bring smiles and a sense of normalcy back to the people of my home state of New Jersey? I thought, what makes people smile? It was then I had an epiphany. Bubbles. Everyone loves bubbles, from really young to really old. It was then that I decided, even though I can't reinvent the wheel, I can make it spin differently. I loaded up the back of my SUV with the 2 bubble machines, a fun playlist, and a powered speaker, and then contacted a former bride who lived in a neighboring community, and I asked her to let her neighbors know that I would be driving through their community, playing music and blasting bubbles out of the back of what has become the Bubble Mobile. In fact, I never even got out of the car. I never even stopped the car. A rolling stop every once in a while. People came out to their front porches, their stoops, their lawns, their driveways. Kids ran out and played in the empty streets behind the Bubble Mobile as I slowly drove through the neighborhood and then on to another and another. And Kia, you missed out on a great sponsorship opportunity, all for free, no charge, just for smiles and to bring a little happiness to such an awful time at the beginning of the lockdown. Well, one thing led to another, and people were stopping me and asking if I'd be part of a parade or come to their house for a bubble party. Why not? This is what got the ball rolling. I thought, how can we turn the negative of the pandemic into a positive? Midweek work during a time when everything was closed or shut down. I went on a low to no cost marketing blitz, joining the right Facebook groups and marketing to the right demographics. When this started in mid March, I had about 300 followers on my NJ Bubble Parties page. In the 7 months since, we're closing in on 1,300 followers, an increase of about 1,000 people. At the very beginning, when this idea first started to develop past driving around neighborhoods for free, all I did was park in front of a person's house or in their driveway and play music while bubbles blasted out of the back of my SUV. Okay. This quickly morphed into what's become our signature bubble drive up party. One thing I thought of was to create a value, offer something that the average person couldn't or didn't know how to do. And it's the same approach I've had with my DJ business. In my mind, if they can do it on their own, they don't need me. So I started scouring the internet and realized there's a very large community of bubbleologists in the world. And I learned about bubble solutions that allowed you to make bubbles bigger than a school bus and the different types of wands to use. Wands that would help you create some of the most amazing bubbles you'd ever see. As with the DJ equipment we all use, there's also professional bubble tubes to which I've invested in. And then between research and creativeness, I started making my own bubble tools. And as you know, necessity is the mother of invention. And because of the pandemic, people were leery of close contact, not wanting any mouth blown bubbles. So I got very creative, using rope wands and even power tools to create amazing bubble effects. Our typical drive up is only 15, 30 minutes, sometimes longer, where we pull in front of your house or into your driveway, as long as it's a safe area, playing age appropriate music and blasting bubbles out of the bubble mobile. I'll then do big bubbles and some interactive activities and bubble tricks safely before getting back in the car and moving on to the next one. And depending on location and length of time, I was charging anywhere from $50 for 15 minutes to $250 for an hour. And the amazing thing was that out of all the bubble events I booked, only one or two ever questioned the price. As a matter of fact, a typical phone conversation went this way. Hi, I'm interested in booking a bubble party. Are you available at this time on this date? I'd respond, and no sooner than the words left my mouth, they asked to book it. I'd usually have to ask them if they have any questions, like maybe, how much do you charge? It was amazing the amount of referrals that were coming in. It almost reached to the point of being overwhelming. Almost. What was really cool was the networking that came out of it was amazing. DJs, photographers, party planners, and more reached out to either hire me for their own parties or recommend me to their clients. The connections I've made from Bubbles has been great for business and even better for my Rolodex, for those of you that remember what a Rolodex is. As someone who constantly thinks outside the box, I thought about how I can take the bubbling to the next level. I've taken the bubble party idea that I got from Rob Peters and expanded it to include bubble dance parties for preschools, bubble shows for any age, bubble workshops for elementary school age, which is a hands-on 1 hour, fun time, and sensory bubble blast for seniors and those with special needs. We also offer bubbles with bubbles for adults who might like to have an adult beverage while watching the beauty of giant bubbles and bubble drive ups for any age. And if you have a ring roamer type photo booth, here's another opportunity. We also do bubbles in a booth, and that's for any age. And we've done multiple events, including baby shower, a 70th birthday drive up. And what's great around graduation time, we would attend graduations with music playing, bubbles blasting out of the back of the SUV. And I'm providing a photo booth experience for groups of 10, 20, 30 people while they celebrate outside in a socially distant manner. One of the coolest things that we've added is also a virtual bubble show. And I've been able to provide that to some of the schools that were not permitted to have outside vendors come in. And it's another way to bring in some extra money. Each one of the programs I just listed targets a different age group. Although for the most part, they can all be done for any age, it's up to you. And the great thing about the bubble parties and events, whether it's me with just one or two guests or a large group, they're truly mobile and can be done outside anywhere that I can just drive up to. And everyone loves bubbles. Bubbles make people smile, and these events are perfect. Whether you're going to a nursery school or a senior community or a nursing home, everybody loves bubbles. It brings out the smiles. I remember watching my Facebook feed and seeing my friends and colleagues posting how devastating this was to them, their businesses, their families, and it really hurt me deep down. And I've always been an out of the box thinker. And being a professional entertainer for all this time has taught me that there are many ways to do something. And that's one of the reasons I wrote a book for DJs, to give them a new and fresh look on how to do something that has been done again and again and again. Now we're facing something that has never happened before, and hopefully never will in the future. But it does not have to stop you from doing what you do best, entertaining, and a byproduct, making money. Now, I do know that most of us are type A personalities, some of us with larger than life egos. And honestly, I'm guilty of this too. But thinking outside the box is what I do. And after the first few bubble drive ups and the overwhelming response, I put the ego in my back pocket and went back to work. Sometimes working 12 to 16-hour days, driving all over New Jersey, sometimes into New York, sometimes into Pennsylvania. But I got to do what I love to do, entertain. And this year has been different than all others. But the one thing I've noticed is that when presented the right way, people are still looking for entertainment. And nearly 300 bubble events, let me say that again, nearly 300 bubble events in the last 7 months, I believe it to be extremely accurate, that people are still looking for entertainment. Even if it's not the traditional way people and you as the entertainer are used to having, doing, providing, they're still looking for an outlet, a release, just some fun. And this is in no way hampered my DJ business. As a matter of fact, it's enhanced it by exposing me and my company to many different groups. I've booked more bubble events and DJ events like weddings, mitzvahs, corporate, all from putting bubble machines and a speaker in the back of my car and going for a nice little drive. So let me sum things up. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and think outside of the box. Create a shape all your own. It could lead you in a direction that you never considered and make some money and be a very profitable idea. In such a crazy and scary time, because of the pandemic, things like bubble drive ups and driveway parties were created. And I believe they'll be around a long time after the pandemic is a distant memory. So remember, success isn't brain surgery, it's hustle. And the only thing that beats a failure is a try. So I want to leave you with a quick story. A DJ friend of mine called me up to bust my chops when he heard that I was doing bubble parties. When I told him how often I was working, how much money I was making, how my calendar was full, his attitude quickly changed. We discussed different options, whether you're doing trivia, bingo, bubbles, DJing for groups that can't do it on the weekend or you don't want to do on the weekend because that's your prime time. There are plenty of opportunities. So I want to thank you for listening. Once again, my name's Mike Wieder from Ultimate Sounds Entertainment, as well as NJ Bubble Parties. There is a world of work out there during the week. It's yours if you go after it. If you have any questions, would like to chat, just talk a little about it, you can contact me at my email, mike@mikeweeder.com. You can call me 609-371-5976. There's a lot out there for us. Let's go get it.